CBS News weather producer David Parkinson is here to show us just how that storm is going to move across the country, and I hope it's not bad.
Yeah, well, so it's pretty bad right now for the deep south.
Yeah.
So you've got these temperatures that are crazy low in the south. You've got a wind chill advisory in Orlando all the way down to Boca.
Yeah.
So you've got
I saw
temperatures
oranges with icicles hanging
right,
off them.
yeah, I mean, like, this is not a good situation.
Yeah.
And then if you take a look, you've got an 11-degree temperature here in Charlotte. You've got 8 in Richmond this morning. So the cold air is in place, and that is what we know over the next little bit of time. So if you continue to take a look as we go for this storm sort of cycling its way up the coast, off the coast here, right, you can just see that it's going to gain momentum as it moves north. It's going to gain intensity in terms of the snowfall, and that's where we're really taking a look at what could be a bad scene. So Hamburg, 8 degrees this morning. You're going to be seeing some lake effect snow there. But here's the radar right now, right? So it has switched over to snow along I-10 in the panhandle of Florida. It was freezing rain this morning, which is the worst situation you can have for driving. We've got freezing rain on I-95 where Manny is going up towards Savannah. That's going to be switching over to snow. And so you could end up with 3 or 4 inches of snow in Savannah in an area where they certainly don't have a lot of snow preparation tools. So that's going to be a problem. And then it's going to just move north from there. And that's where we're really talking about the storm getting more intense. So if you've seen a New York Post article that was talking about a weather bomb, what that means, right? Like
that's
everybody's
not
freaking out about that.
hyperbole. Is that an actual weather phenomenon?
It's an actual weather term when a storm system loses 24 millibars of pressure, which is to say it gets that much stronger. In under 24 hours, you have what's called a weather bomb. And so that's where you get the term bombogenesis. That's where we talk about storms bombing out.
I
right?
love it.
Like, that's
Bombogenesis.
right. That's what that term is. And so it's a classic.
I never knew it even existed.
Yeah, so it's a classic sort of nor'easter
Oxford
thing that happens is that much sort of like a Sandy or a hurricane or something like that. It gets really strong really quickly. And when that happens, you get these bursts of intense snow. So when we wrap it all up, here's your snow total map here. So take a look at this painting that we've got for you here. So potentially up to 16 inches in Boston. I think probably around a foot is realistic there. We're looking at less as you get to sort of east of I-91. The Connecticut River, I think, is going to be sort of a dividing line there. And then the snow really drops off quickly as you get to the west. So even though we have New York City in that up to 4-inch range there, the important thing to remember is if this storm moves just 25 miles in one direction or the other, that could be the difference between 4 and 8 inches.
Right.
And the other thing that we have to remember is there is a blizzard concern for this along the coast, Cape Ann in Massachusetts, the south coast of Massachusetts, and down along into the Cape and the islands there. The winds 40 to 70 miles an hour, so that could be a hurricane force wind at a certain point. That's going to be a power loss issue. And when we have that combined with some really cold temperatures, it's just a really bad setup in that sense. So we're not going to be having ridiculous snow totals that we've never seen before. Not going to have 3 feet of snow in major populated cities. But what we are going to have is a lot of wind, a lot of low visibility, and what I suspect will be a lot of traffic accidents.
It's going to suck. You mentioned that, if it moves, that's my meteorological term.
Yes.
Bombogenesis, gonna suck.
I like to keep it simple. But you mentioned if it moves, in one direction or another, that would make all the difference. Are there sort of factors out there that could change this whole thing in the next 24 hours or so?
It's all in just how it kind of comes together as it moves up the coast. So the question is where do all the sort of fronts, where do all the currents, where does the jet stream, how all does that interact? And so when we talk about a shift of 25 or 50 miles, that's pretty much nothing from other. That's a wobble, right? Like that's not something we'd be like, oh, something's making a major change in the track. A major change is 200, 300, 400 miles. 50 miles is it's here to Long Island, right? That's not a whole lot of difference in the grand scheme of a system that is going to be hundreds of miles wide.
Right.
Okay. Usually it's hard to make predictions, but what happens on March 21st?
March 21st.
It was the Farmer's Almanac here?
It's like spring.
The day after my mother's birthday.
Yeah, right, exactly. Spring.
So, I think that the thaw this year looks like, we'll have this cold for the next week or so. Then we may catch a little bit of a break. I think we'll get 1 or 2 more big storm systems, but realistically, I think this may be the coldest part of the winter.
All
Oh,
right,
I see what you did
yeah.
there,
You see
right?
what I
So
did?
now we're making
See what I did?
end on a positive
That's
note.
exactly
trying to give you
right.
hope
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Some hope. Follow David Parkinson at Partly Cloudy.
Yes.
If you want to learn new terms like bombogenesis, and you follow us if you just want to know that it really sucks out there because it's cold.
Straight talk.
David Parkinson, thanks for stopping by, man.
Sure thing.